Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So this channel, Everyday Data Science, is all about trying to learn the different concepts involved in data science by practicing a lot of questions. In this video, I'm going to solve this question on LeetCode regarding consecutive numbers and try to walk you through how we can develop solutions to such problems. The difficulty level of this question is medium, and this question has been asked in Amazon as well as Uber interviews over the past 6 months. Okay, let's jump right in. We are given a table called logs with two different columns, ID, number, ID being the primary key for this table, and it is an auto increment column as well. Okay, we are asked to write a SQL query to find all numbers that appear at least 3 times consecutively. The order of the result doesn't matter. Okay, let's go to this example, right? So here, by just looking like which all numbers do we find that are occurring more than thrice consecutively. Obviously 1 is occurring thrice consecutively, and if you see, there is no other number where any other number is occurring consecutively, right? So the only output is going to be 1. So 1 is occurring at least thrice consecutively, and that is going to be the output, right? So basically what we can do is we can use a window function here called lead, right? And try to find out the next number and the next to next number of each of these numbers, right? So basically what we can do is we can make two more columns, right? So let's say let me just copy this here. Okay, so if I, what I do is, let's say I found the next one number, right? So next, and then next to next, right? So next to next, let's say I want that, right? So here, if I go ahead and just try to find out, okay, so for this, what is the next one? This one, right? So here we have 1, and what is the next to next? It is 1 as well, right? So for this, next to next, this is right. For this, the next one is 1, and next to next is 2, right? So similarly, we can do this for other. Let me just go ahead and fill this up, right? Okay, so this is how it will look like, right? So the next one and the next to next one, like if you take any one, right? So for this one, what is the next value? This one. And what is next to next? This one, right? So here we have the next to next one, right? And now what we can do is, once we have this, right, let's store this in a common table expression. What we can do is we can simply do for all those numbers where your number is equal to the next one and your number is equal to next one, that means that the number has at least occurred consecutively thrice, right? If not, there would be a difference here, like for example here, right? So we have 1, 1 and 2. So for these three, there is no consecutive numbers, right? So 1 is equal to 1, but 1 won't be equal to 2. So for all these cases will be eliminated. The only number that is going to remain is which has repeated consecutively, right? And once we have that, we can just return the distinct numbers, right? And that is it. Okay, so let me go ahead and start building this query, right? So what we can do is, from this logs table, what we are doing is we keep both these columns, that is not an issue. And then what we are doing is we are creating a third as well as the fourth column. The third column is a next, and then the fourth column is next to next, right? So for the third column, we need the next value, and you can use the lead function, right? So lead function from the number column, and how much next we want, the first one, right? So the next value, so 1. And then since this is a window function, we just write over. We don't need partitions or order by, because if you order by, then it is not going to represent the consecutiveness right here. So that is why we write this. So it will just give, okay, what is the next value for each of these numbers, right? And let's alias this as next 1, right? Similarly, we want the next to next for each of the row, right? So we can again write lead for the number column and next to next, and this is the over clause, right? And let's write this as next to, right? Let me just remove this and let me just run this, right? So let's see if we are getting what we are trying to get, right? So let me just run this. Okay, so here if you see, we have that, right? So ID, number, the next value, and the next to next value. So number, next value, and next to next value. And similarly we have for all of it, right? So once we have this, what we can do is we can store this in a common table expression with ct as, put this entire thing in parentheses, right? And from this common table expression, what we are doing is, let's keep only those rows where there is a repetition, right? So how do we define that? Where number is equal to the next value, right? And the number is also equal to the next to next value, right? So next 2, right? So it will keep only those rows where there has been consecutive numbers, and then from there we are only allowed to keep the distinct numbers, right? And since in the output we need to alias this as consecutive numbers, so we can go ahead and just copy this, right, and alias this as this one, right? Okay, so since we do not need to order this, so this looks good. Let me go ahead and run this to see what happens. Okay, so this is accepted. Our output is same as expected output. Let me go ahead and submit it to see if it passes all the test cases. So yep, this passes all the test cases, and this is how I do it. Again, although medium difficulty, but actually it is very simple. All you had to do was just for each of these numbers, if there is a consecutiveness in this, right? So obviously the next value and the next to next value has to be same, right? And once you have those columns, then all you are doing is just keeping all the rows where you are sure that this number is going to be repeated in the next one and next to next one, right? And once you have that, then you can, just return the distinct part. Why distinct? Because if you can see here, let's say 8, 9 and 10, right? ID 8, 9 and 10. Here again, if there was 1, 1 and 1, so here again we are going to get 1 from this and 1 from this, right? But we don't need repetition, so that is why we have written distinct numbers. So if if a number repeats thrice or more than thrice, more than once, right, we are just counting it. Okay, so this is the only one that we need. Okay, cool. So I hope this made sense. Let me know if there is a better way or a more efficient way you can think of. Let the solution be in the comment section below, and until then I will see you guys in the next video.